Bob Woodward's new book also recounts how President Trump slammed his military generals and admirals using vulgar language to accuse them of being weak. Joining us now, Senator and U.S. military veteran Tammy Duckworth. She just delivered a scathing set of remarks on the U.S. Senate floor about the president's disrespect for wounded warriors. Senator, thank you so much for joining us. So what's your response to the president in the wake of these repeated and very offensive comments he makes about U.S. service members like you who have made great sacrifices for our country?
Well, you know, whether or not he said what he said in the Atlantic article, we know that it is very much in keeping with the things that he's said in the past. After all, you know, he said terrible things about Senator McCain, about how he was not a hero for having been captured in Vietnam. And now the things that he's actually said over the weekend about generals, about leaders in the Pentagon, you know, whose real duty is to lead our troops into battle and to watch out for their training and to safeguard their well-beings. He accuses them of loving war and profiteering. This president is not fit to be commander-in-chief. He, at time and again, has disrespected our troops, our military families, and he continues to not provide our veterans with the support that they need to recover from the wounds and the injuries that they have from their military service.
You speak as an Iraq War veteran, a Purple Heart recipient at the same time. Bob Woodward, Senator, also gives yet another account of the president's comments about military leaders in his new book, writing, and let me quote from what the president said. He said this: "My effing generals are a bunch of peas. They care more about their alliances than they do about trade deals." The president likes to say he has respect, great respect for the U.S. military, but does this sound to you like a commander-in-chief who respects the armed forces?
Not at all. It sounds to me like a failed commander-in-chief. I call him the coward-in-chief. He's a man who does not value courage because he himself is a coward. He's a man who does not value loyalty because he himself shows no loyalty to others. He is a man who continues to call our troops terrible things. He called our war dead losers and suckers for having been laid down their lives in defense of our nation. This man is not fit to be commander-in-chief for another 4 minutes, let alone another 4 years.
Bob Woodward also in his new book reports that former U.S. Defense Secretary, retired General Jim Mattis, said President Trump was, in his words, dangerous, unfit, and lacked a moral compass. He also writes that the former Director of National Intelligence, Dan Coats, believed Russia actually had something on the president. How concerning are these revelations in this book, revelations from top Trump administration officials?
Deeply concerning, but I've often wondered myself, Wolf, what Vladimir Putin has on Donald Trump. Why is it that he would take Putin's word? Why is it that he would believe Putin over that of our own intelligence community? Why has he not confronted Putin for the alleged bounties that he has placed on our troops' heads in Afghanistan? You know, I've asked the Department of Defense, I've asked this president, why have you not conducted an investigation to see if any of the deaths of our troops in Afghanistan has been as a result of bounties placed on their heads by Russia, and they've refused to even conduct this investigation. I have to answer to Goats to Our Families, and again, President Trump doesn't care about Goats to Our Families. He's denigrated them. I wonder, what exactly does Putin have on Donald Trump?
So what's the answer they give you when you try to get answers?
There are no answers from this president, and in fact, he continues to try to confuse the American people and try to basically gaslight us. But you know what? Those of us here in the Senate, we Democrats, will stand up to him. We will hold him accountable, and we will call him out when he does not support our troops. He is supposed to be the commander-in-chief. He is supposed to be safeguarding our troops. He is supposed to be looking out for our military families. He's supposed to be caring for those who have borne the battle, and he has done none of those. And instead, he continues to take the word of a foreign adversary, Russia, and its autocratic leader, Putin, over that of Americans, and that is shameful.
Yeah, I remember when I was in Helsinki at the summit between President Trump and Putin at that news conference that they had, the president, he said he agrees, he sides with Putin over the objections of the U.S. intelligence community, including the Director of National Intelligence, Dan Coats, at that time. It was a pretty amazing moment. You remember that moment, don't you?
I very much remember that moment. And remember, this man is in charge of our military. And if he's not willing to ask Putin and why, whether or not he has actually put bounties on American troops' heads, he does not deserve to be commander-in-chief of our military. Our military families deserve better than a commander-in-chief who is subservient to some other nation's leader. And frankly, our troops deserve far better than this president who himself, dodged a draft 5 different times in Vietnam and compared his own bouts of trying to avoid venereal disease to his own personal Vietnam. This man is shameful, and he's a disgrace.
Senator Tammy Duckworth, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.